All right, let's talk about a problem that I know everyone listening has run into. Getting results from AI that are actually powerful and, consistent. It's time to go way beyond just asking simple questions and really learn the art of the prompt.
Okay, so let's get real for a second. We've all been there, right? You get this incredible, mind blowing response from an AI. You try something kind of similar a minute later, and poof, it's completely useless. Well, the secret isn't about memorizing some list of magic words. It's actually about changing the way you think about your conversation with the AI in the first place.
So here is our game plan. We're going to start with the basics, then we'll walk through three really powerful mental models for understanding how these AIs actually work, and then we'll pull it all together into a practical toolkit that you can start using like today. So, first up, what in the world is prompt engineering? You hear this term thrown around all the time, but what it really boils down to is just having a system for how you communicate. See, it's not a one and done kind of thing. It's a craft. You're basically the director, and you're fine-tuning your instructions to guide your AI actor to give the perfect performance. It's this constant loop of designing something, testing it, and then making it better. And this shows that loop perfectly. You start on the left by just framing the problem. Like, what do you actually want? Then you write your first draft of the prompt. The AI gives you something back, and your job is to spot the errors. From there, you just optimize and iterate, sharpening your instructions over and over again. It's a cycle. Now, to get really good at that process, we need a way to think about what the AI is even doing under the hood. And that brings us to our very first mental model. It's probably the one you've heard of, and it's a great place to start. The Internet Parrot. You've probably heard this idea of the AI as a stochastic parrot. Stochastic is just a fancy word for random. So think of it as a parrot that isn't just mindlessly repeating things, but is actually making a really, really good guess about the next word that should come up, based on everything it's ever read. It's like the entire internet got zipped into one file, and the AI is just finding and remixing patterns from it. So here's the key takeaway. When you're using this model, you have to ask yourself one question. What kind of text already exists online that looks like the answer I want, right? If you want a blog post, you should start your prompt like it's the beginning of a blog post. You're just giving the AI a familiar pattern to complete. Now, the strength here is that it's simple. It's a really solid, concrete way to get started. But this whole model kind of falls apart when you see an AI do something totally new, something that isn't just a simple remix. So how does that happen? Well, to get that, we need a more advanced way of looking at the AI. And that brings us to our second mental model, the reasoning system. This view gets that these AI models do way more than just parrot information back at you. They actually interpret it. Okay, this is a huge shift in thinking, right? The AI isn't just finding text anymore. It's creating the gist of an idea based on stereotypical connections. So if you say doctor, it immediately thinks hospital, patient, stethoscope, because those words just always show up together. It's searching for the most common abstract pattern that fits what you've asked for. I absolutely love this quote. The AI is basically taking your request and just violently stuffing it into the most stereotypical box it can find. And that explains everything, doesn't it? It explains why it can feel superhumanly smart one second when your request fits a common pattern, and then superhumanly dumb the next when it doesn't. So your job as a prompter totally changes. You need to aim for that sweet spot, what engineers call the controllable subspace. Just think of it as the zone where what you want perfectly overlaps with the AI's internal stereotypical logic, and you get there by using really clear keywords, structure, and context. And now for our final view, which honestly might be the most powerful one for just day-to-day use. Instead of thinking about data or systems, we're going to think about personality. This model is all about anthropomorphizing the AI. In other words, just treat it like it's a person, a really smart writer or an expert that you're collaborating with. You're not just giving a command anymore, you're briefing a teammate. And this opens up a whole new set of tools for you, all based on how we humans communicate. And just look at all the strategies this gives you. You can assign it a role, right? Tell it, act as a world-renowned marketing expert. You can prime its thinking by giving it examples first. You can even use persuasion by telling it to think step by step. You're helping this simulated mind get into character and give you a way, way better response. Okay, so we've got the parrot, the system, and the mind. How do we put all this together? Well, the key thing to remember is that these aren't competing ideas. They're just different lenses in your toolkit, and each one is useful for a different kind of problem. This table right here, this is your cheat sheet. First, you've got the parrot. Its whole deal is remixing data, so your strategy is to use formats it's already seen. Next up, the system. It works by pigeonholing, so your strategy is to guide it with a super clear structure. And finally, the mind. It simulates a person, so your job is to brief a full persona with goals and context. Knowing when to switch between these is the real secret to crafting the perfect prompt every single time.
Ultimately, when you start thinking this way, you're not just rolling the dice anymore, hoping you get lucky. You are actively shaping the AI's output. You become the architect. So the only real question left is, what kind of mind are you going to build first?